I go to the third grade, and unlike Lucas, I passed kindergarten, first, second grade, but somehow when I got to the third grade, everything was catastrophic and I failed. And when I failed, the teachers got together and the counselors and I guess the psychiatrists or psychologists or whatever got together and they're doing this psychological analysis on me. And we're like, we don't understand why Mark isn't succeeding. There's something wrong with him. He's introverted. And then my parents say, well, when we got him from foster care, when they heard the word foster care, all of a sudden things changed. And then they said, well, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett, well, do you understand why your son is not succeeding? See, most kids like this, we really don't expect them to succeed, so you better not put your hopes up because kids like him, well, don't expect too much. And all of a sudden, this label was placed on me. And that stigma of foster care, black kid whose mother was a prostitute, all these labels started happening, and all of a sudden we have this thing called self-fulfilling prophecy. I begin believing everything that I'm hearing. That is why the words we say to children are so important. They're so valued. And sometimes in our adult life we get angry with our kids and we say things. But see, the thing about the things we say, once we say them, we can never take it back. So be careful of the words you use to each other and the children, because that adage that says sticks and stones that break my bones, but words never hurt me, trust me, it is a lie. Because you guys remember going out and you're playing kickball. Remember kickball as kids? You know, and kids don't play kickball anymore, you know what I mean? But as kids, we're going out, we're playing kickball, and we see a kickball game. Oh my God, like the little red ball with the little crow's feet on it. Remember that? So we're out there, we want to what? We want to play kickball with all the other kids, and we go out there and like, hey guys, can I play? They're like, no. And all of a sudden, what do? We get calloused, and we're like, I don't want to play no way. And we walk away. However, what happened? We were hurt. And a lot of times when we're dealing with children, and my presentation talks about what children need to succeed, when children are hurt, what comes before anger always, it is pain. And if we can address the pain of what children are going through, we can dramatically change the outcome for kids if we're willing to address the pain, and we have to have what we call patience to do that. So I ended up failing the third grade, and all of a sudden I'm placed in special ed. And in those days we had 2 classroom teachers, and so I had to go from one room to another, and that room was 315. And I remember over the loudspeaker, our principal comes over one day and says, hello, students. I don't know why principals sound like that, but that's just the way they do. Hello, students. Welcome to Valley Rock Elementary School, and we are going to be doing a da-da-da-da-da. And so he goes on and on and on and on. And then all of a sudden, he says, all kids going to room 315, please go there now. Now, here's the problem. Everybody in the school knew what room 315 was. 315 are for the really, really special kids. We had to have carpet in our room, like that was going to keep us from committing suicide or something, I don't know. Do not give us sharp objects because we'll poke your eyes out. You know, those kids down in room 315, those are the dangerous ones. We're like 8 years old. How dangerous are we really? We'll kick your ankle. I mean, you know what I mean? So all of a sudden, the perception of 315 was kids who nobody wanted. Kids who were dumb, kids who were stupid, kids who rode the short bus. Kids with the helmets and all the stuff that they make fun of us. And it was crazy. And all of our friends were laughing. Oh, 315. Because not in this room, not in our classroom. We don't have kids like that. But, of course, I knew that I was one of those kids. But I dare not tell my friends because if I do, then I am exposed. I sit there. Nothing happens. Everything is safe. And then all of a sudden, over the loudspeaker, the principal comes on and says, all kids going to room 315, please go there now. Once again, we're laughing and we're joking with each other. 315, really? 10 minutes go by. Nothing happens. I'm safe. But then over the loudspeaker comes our principal, Mark Anthony Garrett. Can you please go to room 315? Mark Anthony Garrett, please go there now. Well, all of a sudden, the spotlight's on me, and I am devastated. And my 2 teachers, they kind of look at their ledger, they're looking, and all of a sudden they're looking at each other, and they go down, they scroll, and somebody goes like this. They look at each other. Then they look at me. Mark, could you please go to room 315 now? Please get your stuff, and please leave quietly. No escort. No sympathy. Please get up and go. And they looked at me like I was a leper of society. So I got up quietly. Everybody in the room It's quiet. Because now everybody knows that here's one of those kids, and all of my friends, they turn on me like a pack of wild wolves. And I pick up my little Land of the Lost lunchbox. You guys remember Land of the Lost, Marshall, Will, and Holly? You know what I'm talking about. So I get my little Land of the Lost lunchbox, and I'm going down to room 315. Abe meets me in the hallway, and I'm going down, but I'm devastated. Because now I know that things are going to get bad. So what begins to happen is on my way down, I'm asking myself, why me? Why am I in this predicament? Why doesn't anybody understand me? Why me? What did I do? I didn't understand. The trauma was too much. And I went to room 315, and I remember walking in. And there was like 11 kids in this classroom. I remember walking in, and there was Patrick. Patrick had one arm with the pinchers, and they made fun of him, and they called him Captain Hook. And I remember one time at recess, this kid got in a fight with him and ripped his arm off and threw it over the fence. There was Jessica, and Jessica never said anything to anybody, and she had all these lesions on her body, and we wondered what all these sores were, but see, we didn't understand that at home. That's where her father would put his cigarettes out. And there was Russell, another black kid in the room, and he never said anything because they called him Stuttering Russell, because he stuttered, and it crushed him. And I remember asking myself, how did I get here? And every other kid looked really different, and we never said anything. I just sat in the third row and sat quietly. The aide stood in the doorway, and then something magical happens. The woman you saw in that video, she comes in with something different. She comes in with a different step, and she comes into the room, and she says, welcome to room 315. I am so honored that you have joined our kingdom. All of you are significant. You are magnificent. I'm so glad to have you. How are you, young men? How are you? How are you, young ladies? How are you? How are you? And how are you? She went around and she shook every one of her hands. She got close. She got intimate. She looked into her eyes, and all of a sudden, we realized that something was different. And see, the thing about it is, this is 1977. Crack wasn't out back then, so we know she wasn't a crackhead. And so we said she can't be a crackhead. So what is going on? So we're thinking maybe she's high on drugs because nobody talks to us like that. It's impossible because nobody likes us. But yet, in this room, she said, this is our kingdom. And she says, if you are a male, you are a king. If you are a female, you are a queen. And we will treat each other like royalty. And she said, you will respect each other. You will honor each other. We are a family. And it doesn't matter what's on that door out there because somebody's opinion of you does not have to be your reality. She said it's not about what people call you. It's about what you answer to. And all of a sudden, we all started getting loose, and we sat up in our chairs, and we were, for the first time in many of our lives, we were proud, and we were honored, and we were validated. See, children in the system, they need to be validated. They need to be understood. They need to be heard. They need to know that somebody cares. It sounds cliche, but it's the small things that make the biggest difference. And for us in our young 8-year-old minds, even though I went back home and I was the kid who was stupid, the kid who was nobody, the kid who would never be anything, the idiot, the bastard, the son of a bitch, excuse my language. But at school, I was just the kid who somebody loved. The young kid who somebody understood. The young kid that Miss Ritchie would get down and she would say, Mark, everything's going to be okay. And for me, I began to love school. I began to become alive. And I would go home, and I didn't care if my mom put me in my room or beat me or whatever. At school, I was validated. I was somebody special. So the first thing kids need is to know that they are significant. They need to know that they are important, because sometimes we look at that and we think that it's just something that, well, maybe. But see, as adults, don't we need the same thing? Don't we need to be validated? How many wives are in the room? How many wives? Okay, some of you guys did that very reluctantly. I understand. It's okay. A lady back there's like, oh, Jesus, yes, me. 12 years. Oh, my God. So tired. I understand. But ladies, have you ever cooked a good meal or did something really great for your significant other and you never got a thank you? No, the lady was like, just did it yesterday. Right. And the thing about it is wasn't just the effort, but it's just a simple validation of thank you. I appreciate you. I value you. And some guys, we look at Valentine's Day and think those are insignificant days. Oh, it's just Valentine's Day. It's not about the day. It's about the action, about the validation that the person that you love is important. It's the small things. And the thing about it is, when we begin to look at this, My whole premise is that we are more than just our titles. In the essence of what it is we do, we are lifesavers. That is the profession we're in. It's not police officers or caseworkers or case aid or managers or CEOs. We're in the profession of saving lives. How do I know? Because I am still here. I am still breathing. Lydia is still alive. Lucas is still alive. Joseph is still alive. Because somebody cared. So when we begin to look at this, the question is, well, what does this mean? Well, it is believed that each of us is born with a unique life purpose. Identifying, acknowledging, and honoring this purpose is perhaps the most important action successful people take. They take the necessary time to understand what they're here to do, and then they pursue that with passion and what? Enthusiasm. Everybody say that. Passion and enthusiasm. Can you tell that I'm pretty passionate about what I do? Can you tell that I'm enthusiastic? I am, and I am very high ADD too. So that's the question. I've taken no medication today, but I don't care because I'm highly functioning, and I have been this way since I'm 3 years old, and I will not go to sleep until 2 o'clock this morning, but I don't care. It doesn't matter because somebody told me that I was significant. Somebody told me that I was important. Somebody told me that I mattered. That's what matters. But here's the thing. For many of us who are here, sometimes in what it is we do, we don't hear how important we are. So I'm here to tell each and every one of you here today that I thank you for what you do. You are significant, you are important, you are validated. I love you because without you, the child welfare system will collapse. It's an interesting profession. It is something that we do. It is the essence of why we live and why we do what we do. We are important. But in the essence of that, we must understand that a new future is waiting. In order for us to change our child welfare system and to give kids the things they need, we must be out-of-the-box thinkers. We must be innovators. We must not do the same thing we've been doing for 20 years expecting a different result. They call that insanity. For those leaders that I work with, for me, I am an out-of-the-box thinker. I am unique. I am different. I am crazy. And I fail a lot in what I do. But you know what? I don't care. Because I know that failure is part of the process of life, and if we are stuck on the mistakes we make, then we will never, ever succeed. We must understand that failure is a process, but here's my philosophy. We never go through any adversity. We should always grow through it. Because going through it and growing through it are two different things. When we can grow as individuals in what it is we do, we become better, we become stronger, we become faster. Sounds like the $6 million man. But anyway, but nonetheless, look. We're here for a greater purpose. Now, Dr. Patricia here was at her house yesterday. At her house yesterday, phenomenal woman, visionary. I met her indirectly through Lydia Joyner, who I just happened to be searching on Facebook and found her profile on this thing about making a movie and sunshine. And, she was the most sunshiny person I ever met. And I called her, and I'm talking about this woman was alive with optimism. Anybody know sunshine people? People who are just bubbly all the time. That's her. So I get her on the phone. I'm like, hi, my name is Mark Anthony Garrett. Is this Lydia? Yeah, hi, how you doing? I'm Mark. Hi, you know what? I am so happy. And she went on and on and on and on. And her yes, she did. Relax. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I recorded it. No, I'm just joking. No. But the thing about it is what attracted me to her was her optimism. And I said, if I could connect with someone like that, who's doing something in foster care, who should be dead, who should not be around or alive, then maybe it's possible that together we could do something great. And through her, she introduced me to Dr. Patricia, and this is why I'm here. Through someone I met on the internet because I was looking to partner with people greater than me. Isn't that amazing? Is that by accident? No, it was supposed to happen. Everybody in this room is here for a greater purpose, for a greater reason. You have been called to do this work. And I know that the people who you think support you, who tell you that you're crazy for doing this, I know that you guys have been there, and they tell you that why are you working with those kids, or why are you doing this?